Welcome, Solara here. I hope you guys are doing well. As promised, I have a whole bunch of downloads that were coming through, so I said I would do a couple of shorter readings. I also, like I said in the first video I did, I think it's nice to shake up the energy a bit. So, yeah. Alrighty, so I want to take a moment to welcome you. Welcome if you're visiting for the first time. Welcome if you've been with me for a minute. And welcome if you joined somewhere along the way. Okay, so I'm just going to get right into this download, and we'll pull some cards and see what else is going to come out to expound upon the message. Okay, so what was coming through is you've been eating like shit because of this petty hex, which was layered into a bigger spell work that was designed to make you tired, depressed, listless, and wanting to give up. So this is part of, and oftentimes, unfortunately, it is, but this is just a hex involved in grander spell work designed to ultimately slow down, hinder, block, all of the above. But the message that was coming through is that you feel like you've been eating like shit, or eating, in ways that aren't beneficial to you per se. And it's because of this petty hex, which was layered into a bigger spell work that was designed to make you tired, depressed, listless, and wanting to give up. Okay, so the advice here that was coming through is just clear it. Just clear it. And please know already that once you are aware of something that is happening in your fields, especially spell work, that's already the beginning action of it clearing, because spell work, in order for it to actually root, is supposed to be not be detected. So the minute that you start to detect these things is the minute that they start to lose their power. But the message that was also coming into this was like, no more giving energy to the who or the why, because this particular hex, it's so desperate and pathetic that it's not worth it. This message is just coming through to break the illusion so you can get your energy and vision back and do what you need to do. So in other words, it's coming in just to give you the confirmation you need to see past the illusion that is designed to just make you feel bad and think you're failing and yada yada yada, when that's not the case at all. You will naturally find balance with food and your body as you do what you need to do in terms of clearing this. Okay, so in other words, this is not an issue where you need to beat yourself up about becoming very rigid about what you're going to eat and yada yada yada. It's more about like, let's clear the fucking energy. Let's clear this energy. Let's clear this hex. Let's clear this spell. And as you do that, naturally you're going to gravitate towards caring for yourself in the way that I'm feeling you were doing before a lot of this. And again, this feels like it's something that's been layered into a bigger work. Okay, so alrighty. It feels like, and when I say a bigger work, I'm not saying that to scare you, like there's something bigger you have to deal with or is coming. It almost feels like you've been working through the dismantling of the grander spell, and now you're dealing with a lot of petty hexes still coming through. And maybe you're just tired. Maybe you're tired because you've dealt with so much clearing already, and some of this stuff just feels mundane. Fuck. My cards. But, and when that happens, sometimes we can lose sight. We can start to blame ourselves for things that of course we have to take responsibility for it in terms of what it is we can do, but ultimately the reasoning for why it's happening isn't something we can really blame ourselves for. So let's see what came out here. I'm going into one of my personal decks. Look at this. Stop beating yourself up. That's the first card that came out. Okay, so the second card that came out was do something completely different, shake up the energy. The third card that came out was take a salt bath, move emotional stagnancy, clear the emotional body. And then at the bottom of the deck, it says return their energy. You are not a container for other people's unprocessed wounds. So this is showing me that this eating thing is actually deeper than just a petty hex. And not that it's deeper in the sense that that's not what it is. It still is a petty hex, but it's a petty hex based upon someone knowing your emotional history with food. Let's put it that way. Somebody knows your emotional hang-ups around food. Someone might be projecting certain narratives, stories, thoughts towards you designed to pull you back into that scenario, that situation, when it comes to your relationship with food. Because with the take a salt bath and moving the emotional stagnancy, this is something to do with like an emotional story that you're still learning to overcome. So this is about self-worth, self-value also. Attachment style also. You might be a comfort eater. You might have I said attachment style. You might not have gotten what you needed when you were born for a myriad of reasons. Maybe you were a C-section. Maybe you weren't nursed. Maybe your mother was struggling with postpartum. There's something here with the disconnect with that first nurturing and soothing that has had you having kind of I don't want to say altogether a dysfunctional relationship with food, but it is. It's like a dysfunctional relationship with food that actually is born from that. You might have been a child who utilized the pacifier for a really long time, sucked your thumb, had an oral fixation in some way. Maybe even inappropriately you were looking for affection from everyone as a kid, and that morphed into adulthood, putting yourself in kind of compromising situations. That's another thing coming through. You might have had issues not only with food but other like addictive. I don't even want to use that word because it sounds like judgmental, and that's not what I mean. But you may have had other issues like with substances, with alcohol, sex. And this is what occurs. This is what happens when we're seeking comfort on a level that is so primal, and we're not aware. Right? We're not aware. For some of you, this is a mother situation with this attachment energy also that is projecting this, whether consciously or unconsciously. Sixth house, yeah. Sixth house, this is the house of Virgo. This is what has come out. I went into the Star Codes Astro Oracle. The sixth house is what came out at the bottom, right? Sustainability. Okay, so this is all about being rooted and grounded in your self-value enough to be able to have healthy routines and habits and behaviors that cater to your stability. So this is showing me also, again, like I said, I was feeling in this energy like part of the reasoning why this message was coming through. I feel like whoever this is for, you're a person who's seasoned in warfare. You're seasoned. This is nothing new for you, but somewhere along the lines, maybe because of fatigue, maybe because of having to alchemize so much at one time, maybe because, and feeling kind of lost in the storm of all of that. Somewhere along the lines, it's almost like you're missing. You're missing the fact that this particular situation, the scenario, and how you're dealing with food is actually directly connected to this. It's like you're thinking of it more as being a mundane thing and beating yourself up about it, when really it's a reflection of your soul trying to show you where it's looking to help you root and ground yourself deeper in your own value. And this is also to do with your ability to receive and to sustain wealth. Okay, so I say all of this because, if you've been rolling with me for a minute, you already will know this, but every single thing that we go through when other beings are trying to do this shit to us, it ultimately is there for our own good also. It's there to wake up something in us that's dormant. It's there to show us a part of ourselves that we might not have seen. It's there to help us become who we truly are, right? So there's something here, and you can look into your own 6th house energy, where you have Virgo placements very specifically, but there's something here that's been really rooted in your unconscious, that's been running you and keeping you wavering and not able to fully ground in yourself, ground in your body, enough to create something sustainable for yourself, whether it's health, it's wealth, it's your ability to do what it is you came here to do. There's something that's kept you from doing that, and this scenario that you're going through right now with food is helping you to purge this on the level of where it actually began in this lifetime. Okay, so this is, like I said, it's something to do with attachment, your initial ability to attach and to learn how to soothe and to be self-soothed, right? And in those initial moments, you either, connect and are able to feel safe, to feel comforted, and based upon that experience is kind of how your emotional experiences are molded off of that, right? So your attachment style is very connected to Cancer energy, right? And Cancer is the emotional foundation that is set, that all of your cycles begin to emulate. So in other words, the way you attach or don't attach to your mother primarily creates the foundation relationally for how you deal intimately with everyone until you interrupt the cycle if it needs to be done. So there's something here that's taking you back to to that moment where it feels like you didn't get what you needed, right? You didn't get what you needed to feel safe. You didn't get what you needed to feel secure. You didn't get what you needed to feel soothed. What I'm also getting here is that you didn't get what you needed to feel welcome on the earth. You didn't get what you needed to feel welcome on the earth. And you haven't felt welcome here the whole time you've been here, whether like you felt it, whether you've consciously been able to articulate it or not, you haven't felt comfortable here on the earth since you came here. Because let's think of it this way, like your mother, very specifically, your father too, but especially your mother, is kind of supposed to be your ambassador for when you arrive, to help you settle into feeling like this is your new home. And if that doesn't happen at the primary phase, it creates this level of insecurity that continues to be felt. And naturally, within us, we have this desire to feel secure, to have this certain level of homeostasis. And so when we don't get that initially, then we search for it in other places. We search for, and we don't realize that's what we're doing, but that ultimately is what came out. Is Libra, balance. Okay, balance. So the Libran energy is here to help us to pursue things that nourish both our minds and our hearts, right? So in the false matrix, we were programmed against our hearts. We were programmed to use our minds, I should say, to go against our hearts. And this ultimately also begins again with how we connect initially to our mothers. The mother energy is the motherboard for all, including mother herself. It's what forms a matrix. And so it's through the mother and the father relationship have different purposes for us energetically, right? So the mother energy is here to help us root ourselves and to feel secure and safe in self. And secure and safe in self enough to connect with our own internal wisdom and guidance, and to allow that to be our compass. And then the father energy is here to help us take that into the world and to feel safe in projecting who we actually are, to feel confident, to feel safe, and to feel supported in doing it. So with this Libran energy, it feels like there's something that's being balanced here for you in terms of learning how to no longer use your own mind against your heart, and to recover a deeper sense of intuitive loyalty that also was lost because of, original attachment. And for some of you, you're learning this through intimacy with another, with this Libra. You're learning it through intimacy with another. For some of you, this intimacy you're going through with another, it is bringing up a lot of this stuff. It's bringing up a lot of this emotion, these emotions around attachment, around wounding, around intimacy, and this is also leading to issues around food. Okay, so on the one hand, if this is, your reading and you're connecting with this when it comes to, dealing with another person intimately, you're feeling uprooted, but you're not uprooted. It's just that what you've been rooted in up until now has felt very familiar, but it's also been very chaotic. Okay, so what you have considered to be you being rooted up until now, even what has sustained your regular day-to-day routines, although it has felt secure to you because that's what you established to cope and to survive, it's chaotic. And this person also, if again, if you're dealing with an intimate relationship, this person is uprooting you out of that place of security that you found that isn't 100% safe. It feels safe because it feels familiar, but familiarity doesn't always breed security, especially when your beginning introduction to attachment and security was faulty or was questionable. So it's almost like you're healing an attachment style that was born from maybe dysfunctional way you did or didn't connect with your mother at birth, and what that brought into your reality, including issues with food, possible addiction, searching for some kind of comfort outside of self, and also the denial of your own feminine wisdom that's connected to your intuitive drive. You are healing that in some way through this relationship, and it's teaching you how to stop using the way trauma programmed your mind to revert to certain ways of doing things that felt safe. This situation is teaching you how to stop connecting with that programming and to be truer to what it is your heart desires. And in doing that, you're breaking the mental programming that had you stuck in scenarios where you were feeling safe when you shouldn't have been. Oof. Okay. I think that's it. I think that's it for those cards. Okay. Okay, I'm going into I think this is called do you believe in magic or make your own magic or something. It was a gift from one of you guys. It's a deck by Amanda Lovelace. Okay, well, nostalgia is what came out. Focus on the here and now. So, the disruption in your reality that is also creating like issues with food and scheduling and all of that stuff. There's something about this relationship, this new level of intimacy you have with another, or maybe even with yourself. It could just be yourself too, that is pulling you into scenarios in your mind of what could happen based upon what it is you've already lived through. Okay? For better or for worse. Okay? What's at the bottom of the deck is villain. You can always rewrite the story. You can always rewrite the story. There's something here from the past that is it's almost like you may have villainized it, or it may have villainized you in some way. There's this energy of something that doesn't want to be touched, and it's like it doesn't want to be touched because there's like this stigma attached. There's a stigma attached here. There's a stigma. We're all just stardust. There's something here about you needing to just let go and let love and let be, and stop dragging yourself through these scenarios of beating yourself up, and something about you needing just to accept that you're here to learn. You're here to learn and you're here to experience. You know, there's a... You're here to learn and you're here to experience. And if there are external voices that are keeping you trapped in certain modes of conversation around your past, you need to visit whether those are actually fruitful for you. Let's just put it that way. So I'm in my second deck. It says openness to love, ability to connect with self and others. Okay, so that's... see if anything else wants to come out. Okay, that one flew and flipped. Divine upgrade, your access to higher expressions and impressions of your truth, your spirituality. So, however this may be presenting itself, it's also activating you into something that is here to help you connect with a higher expression of your truth. And it's something to do with accepting this love. And again, it could have to do with someone. It could be intimacy with someone else. And it could literally just be a higher level of intimacy with self, with this Libran energy. Also, not for nothing, Venus is in retrograde. So these issues around our ability to connect with love, to accept love, to be open to love, to actually recognize what love is versus attachment, etc. All of these themes are very rampant right now because this is the medicine of Venus retrograde, right? So, okay. I think I want to close this out now. And go into a little bit of tarot for this. Oops. The Five of Swords, the Queen of Wands, and at the bottom of the deck we have the High Priestess. I always feel like with this Five of Swords, it's like and the High Priestess, you know, like I said before, like this doesn't feel like someone who doesn't know the intricacies of warfare and the intricacies of how to fight and you know, etc. But it's almost like not like you're missing this, but like you're making it out to be something more self-blaming than seeing the full spectrum of the picture. And it's almost like this is calling you to rise into your giftedness, into your Queen of Wands energy, your ability to not only read energy but to direct it. And you know, like, especially for those of you who are aware that somebody's trying to pull you into a lower emotional experience very specifically. And people who try to drag us into lower emotional experiences are people who have an emotional connection to us, right? So psychic attacks are easier to come by because it's mostly rooted in people's thought energy, and it has an effect on us if we have woundedness around the area where they're attacking us with that thought energy. But the emotional, the attacks that affect our emotional fields directly are going to happen through those beings who we have an emotional connection with. An emotional cord connects us to those beings, and we have cords of emotional connection to people who we build intimacy with over time. And one of the biggest emotional cords of connection we have, of course, is to our mothers, as physically and biologically expressed through like the presence of the umbilical cord. You get what I'm saying? So maybe cord cutting, but I don't know, because like I'm not a huge advocate of cord cutting, to be completely frank. I do it from time to time, but I don't think it's the be all and the end all. I would actually, in this scenario, if you were a client, I would say to you, let's do some meditation where we go back into the womb space. Let's reprogram you. Let's work with bath water. Let's work with the bathtub as a womb. Let's do all of that to reprogram you, because let's put it this way, a lot of the disempowering thoughts that you have about yourself are connected to this person, right? But they're also like being projected towards you because of their own woundedness, or maybe with the High Priestess and the Queen of Wands, it's very intentionally projecting the energy towards you for the purpose of disempowering you too. That's absolutely possible also. But at the end of the day, one of the most powerful ways you can fight this kind of energy is not necessarily just by being defensive and combative, but by actually getting to the root of what's going on within your own fields and reprogramming yourself in such a way that you're no longer an energetic match for whatever is thrown your way. Okay, so that's what I have for you. If you'd like to join me this Sunday, as of now, I think there are 2 more slots available for my Tarotstrology group Q&A, where I will be going into your chart and we will be talking about your Pisces story and your 12th house story, and the story of the karmic cycles that you found yourself looping through, not only in this lifetime, but oftentimes many lifetimes, as depicted through your birth chart. So if you would like to join me for that, it's a very small group. I'm keeping these groups very small right now. We will be meeting on Sunday, March the 9th, from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 to 8 p.m. UK time. Yes, if you would, I'll put the information for that in the description box below. If you would like to book with me for a 60 or 90-minute soul recovery, you can do so through the links provided below. Also, please be aware that if you do book through my Ko-Fi for the soul recovery, if you have an issue with Calendly, then please just drop me an email, because it's been a little bit fickle recently with that app for whatever reason. And if you can't book a time after you've made your payment, just shoot me an email, solaraspeaks@proton.me, and on my end, once I see that you've booked and you've paid anyway, and I haven't seen you choose an appointment slot, I will reach out to you in any case to manually come up with a scheduled time that we can meet. Okay, so yes, I think that's it. Oh, if you'd like to connect with me on a daily basis, you can do through my platform solar.xyz, where I post my daily alchemy blurb every single day and send it directly to your inbox in the morning. If you're signed up for that, it's completely free. Daily alchemy is free. If you would like to support me and receive extra content from me during the week, then you can by becoming an Opal, Larimar, or Jade member in my tiered membership on solar.xyz. I'm also, in terms of connecting with me daily, I'm also quite active right now on Instagram Threads. I really do like Threads a lot. I'm not a huge fan of regular Instagram, but I do like Threads. So I do some channeled messages over there, just random stuff to talk about, as well as, guidance about all of this stuff that we talk about here on Solara Speaks. So my handle over there is also Solara Speaks. So yes, I'm going to get going because I have more downloads to get through. I'm sending you so much love, and yes, I will see you again soon. Take care.